that we have our fifth speaker of the day, which is Jyoti Mishra. Jyoti has close to 10 years of experience working in testing and project management. And currently she is working as the senior Scrum Master at Cvent, where she leads a cross-functional team of 7 developers. She will speak about psychological safety via gamification. So go ahead, Jyoti. I'm really curious to see what you are going to tell us and show us.
Thank you, William. So before I start, in fact, I would like to thank all those people who voted for my talk. So I've been doing a lot of testing conferences, but Scrum conference is my first one, so I'm very excited. And there are a lot of folks in this group, some who are speakers, some who are attending. So things which I learn and implement are from their blogs, from their YouTube channel. So yeah, thank you to those people. Like Martin is one of them. I read his blog, which he shares regularly, and I try to follow them. Some of them are my favorites, and I've tried to accommodate in this particular topic of mine as well, which is psychological safety. Okay. Yeah. So before I start on my topic, since it's about gamification, so I thought let's play a small game. Okay. So we are 135 of us here. Okay. And we have to count till 20, right? So 1 to 20 is what we have to count. Okay. So the rules are, okay, we can't decide, like I can't say that Corin, I mean I can't speak that, okay, Corin, I'll be the one who would say number 1 and you'll be the one who will say 2. Okay, randomly. Okay, we have to count 1 to 20. So there are 133 people, only 20 people have to count. Okay, and the counting has to be unique. Like if 2 people they count the same number, right, we'll start the counting again. Okay, so is you guys can give me a thumbs up saying that you've understood the rules of the game. Okay, I see Simon giving me thumbs up. What about rest of the folks? Yeah, okay, nice. Yeah, so all set. See, we have to count 1 till 20. We can't repeat the number. Okay, I see you guys are innovating. So that was the idea of this game, right? Scrum is all about innovation. Yeah. So yeah, 1 to 20 we have to count. We cannot repeat before you start doing the innovation and then the game becomes a little boring. I want you all to restart same thing again and again. So okay, I'll start with 1. Okay, and then rest go for it. Okay.
2.
So here we go. 1.
2.
Okay.
3.
3.
Oh,
5.
okay. No, somebody said same number twice. Okay, 2 people counted 3. Okay, let's do it once again, right?
14.
But yes, you can innovate, right? I see there are folks who are writing in the chat. They are saying they'll be counting certain numbers. There are other ways as well. You can collaborate. Okay, what is that other way? You can come on camera, right? Scrum teams, they refrain themselves coming on cameras, right? They give their updates, they share about the project status being offline, right? They don't turn on their camera and then they just give the status. You feel like as if somebody's sitting like this and giving the status. You're not able to see their faces, right? So yeah, one way I see in the chat we are telling. Second is you can come on camera and point that, okay, I'll count 1, I'll count 2. Okay, so I'm giving you some hints, right? So hopefully this time we'll be able to get through 1 to 20. Okay, I'll start. 1.
2.
3. 4.
4.
Oh. Okay. Should we try one more time before we move to the topic?
Yep.
Come on, guys. This time we can do it. I think we have some learnings, right? So Scrum is all about you learn, you inspect, and you adapt. Okay. So yeah, awesome. So we are going again. I'm just wondering the person who has to count 11 and 12, how they are going to tell using the fingers. Okay. Here we go, guys. Yeah. 1.
2. 10.
Oh no, we had to count in the sequence.
Oh, okay. So sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Chalo. Sorry, but last time. Yeah. Okay. Let me make it easy. Not 20. Let's bring it to 10 so that fingers are enough. Okay. So 1 to 10 sounds good. Yeah. Okay.
1.
So, okay. I'll start, Chaitanya. Okay. 1.
2.
Okay. Go on.
3.
Okay.
4.
5.
Oh. Now we'll decide. Should we go one more round? So we've reached halfway, right? So we are doing good. Yeah. I think we should go one more time. Right?
I really like the fact that people were showing the number that they were going to say. So people could already see, okay, this number is already taken.
We can't see everybody. That's the problem.
Yeah, then there's only the people who are on camera that could speak. Because see, now I'm showing, for instance, 5. I would say 5.
Yeah, I'm the 2.
3.
Ramya is 3. Simon is 4.
Oh.
Mona is 8.
So this way we should be able to do it. If you have your fingers.
There are 3. There are 2 8s.
Okay, I was 5. I'm going to take 6 then.
87.
Right.
I loved it.
I'm 10.
Still missing a 9. Mia is Mo, is that a 9?
This is not there. No.
Oh, your Mo's 9.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, mine
Okay.
is 1.
No.
Okay. Yeah. So probably 87 in future when this conference would be in person. We'll start from 87. Okay.
Can I just say something?
Yeah.
We had a similar exercise that we did in the office. So there were 10 people. All of them were brought on the podium, and they were all blindfolded. And the speaker said that you need to communicate with each other without opening your mouth and without saying anything. So how would you communicate? So everybody, and the point was that you need to share your birth dates with each other. So everybody was kind of numb for the first 10 seconds. And then I started with the clap. So I did 5 claps because 5th is my birthday. And that was the cue. Then everybody started, clapping and giving the number. So this is kind of similar to that. Thanks for listening to me.
Thank you. Yeah, I think the whole idea of this conference is we speak, share, discuss, right? So yeah, thank you. Okay, guys, I think this time we'll kill it. Like how we think as a Scrum team that, okay, we've failed thrice. We have our learnings. Now 4th time we'll do it. Okay. So yeah, go for it, guys. 1. I said 1. Yeah.
2.
Go. Okay.
3.
4.
5.
6.
7.
Yeah. Okay. 8 micro. Yeah.
I was laughing.
9.
10.
Yay! We did it. Teamwork.
Wow. So a lot of learning through this. So you saw how using small icebreakers, small games, you're able to bring collaboration, right? We all like meeting each other for the first time, but we were collaborating. We did fail, but we innovated. Okay, somebody started writing the numbers on the chat. Then we came on camera. Then we started, okay, we'll show our fingers, right? And nobody forced you to turn on your camera, right? You thought, okay, to make this game as a success, you have to turn on your camera, right? So these are small tricks. I try to do it with my team. Like we all are doing work from home, right? People tend to get burnout. They feel reluctant to turn on their cameras, right? So just instead of just telling and preaching and saying, okay, we should turn on our camera, it makes the communication effective. I use these games, right? And yeah, so today I'll share a similar journey, a sequence of icebreakers, fun Friday sessions I did with my team to have a psychological safety, right? So Ramya has set the stage for me, I would say. So thank you, Ramya. So as she said, like if you are able to inculcate psychological safety in your team as a scrum master, like one way, as Ramya said, that okay, you being mindful, you being empathetic, right? So now my focus would be how team can be empathetic, how team can inculcate psychologically safe environment for each other where people can speak up, right? So yeah, I'll walk you through that journey of mine. Yeah. So favorite question in the work from home days is, are you guys able to see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so the agenda of my session is the problem statement I had, right? So then what is ideal Scrum team? Okay, what are the attributes of ideal Scrum team? Okay, then what exactly we mean by psychological safe environment? Yeah, and then some of the games which I tried with my team, okay, and what impact it had on the project. Okay, people, yes, these games would have a people impact. Like now, how you guys are like, okay, cheerful, and you were coordinating, collaborating, we were sharing our experiences. But through this game, see, we are not game master, we are scrum master. We have to take care of the projects as well. Okay, so through this game, what impact it had on the delivery onto the project, even I'll share that with you all. Okay, yeah. So the problem statement which I had was, in one of my team, the maximum people were hired during the work from home days during the pandemic. Okay, and they were mostly college hires. Okay, so for them, it was first time they were experiencing corporate. Okay, and it was unfortunate that they were doing that online. It was not in person. You know, when you are out of a college, you want to join office, you want to be part of those parties, those discussions, etc. But for them it was all about work, right? Then yeah, as I told you, remote hire, majorly new team member, as in fresh out of the college. And since they were fresh out of the college, they were very quiet, they were reluctant to speak. For them it was more of, okay, whatever the senior most person in the team is deciding, we have to work on it. Okay, time zones. So us is a like we have teams spread across different countries, like you have US, Canada. Okay, so though we have a co-located team, but then there are some projects where we have to work with between different teams. Okay, there are different scrum teams which are working on common project. Maybe front end is taken care by one team and the back end is taken care by another team. Okay, so if there has to be some discussion, there were a time zone difference, right? Then lack of trust and confidence. Okay, people, so whenever there was any change done with respect to the coding, the senior person used to give a review comment to those individuals, right? So people used to take it personally that this person is trying to pinpoint, he or she is purposely trying to give me so many review comments, and because of those review comments I'm not able to move my things to done, right? Again, since they were fresher hired, they had to prove certain point, right? They had to prove that they are capable and they are worthy of this role which they have got. So their focus was only individual, like, okay, whatever task is assigned to me, I have to ensure that I move it to the done. Okay, they were not that concerned if somebody else needed any help and they had that expertise and they should go and help them out, because it was all about, okay, we've got a 2 week sprints, we have got 10 days. Yeah, we cannot carry over our tickets to the next sprint, because if we do so, people would note it down that, okay, this is the person who is spilling their story again and again. Okay, so they had all these trust issues. Okay, also people were more comfortable in doing one-to-one discussion rather doing a group discussion. So you might have a question, okay, Jyoti, that's a fair point, right? I had one-to-one collaboration is good, why should I disturb four other folks? Okay, I tag something on Slack to someone, so rather disturbing and notifying whole group, I go ahead and do one-to-one conversation and resolve my queries. But all this was an issue because, as I told you, majorly team were of like we had new team members. So maybe what I am suggesting, like me and Ramya, we are a new folks, right? We are having some problem. So we have a limited knowledge, right? But William, Corin, they are expert in the Scrum role, right? So if I am discussing anything in a group, I'll get that experience as well. Like they would be able to tell us, oh, Jyoti and Ramya, whatever you're discussing is good, but it's a short term thing, right? You're not thinking about scalability, you're not thinking about reliability. Oh, you're hard coding everything, right? So that's why it's very important that you take that discussion in a group, especially when you are new. Okay. And yeah, so you had this concept of we have this concept of front end and back end developer. Okay, so they are not coordinating between each other, and they are just waiting. Okay, this person said that he or she would give the story, the back end work by second day, but we are still waiting and not talking to that person to understand, okay, what's wrong, why you're not able to deliver it on to the second day, it's impacting my work. Should we go ahead and talk to the leaders in the team and get certain things deprioritized? Okay, yeah. So major problems: remote hires, work from home, focus was individual. They didn't know, like, as a Scrum, you success as a team. Okay, the stakeholders, they are not concerned if Jyoti completed all work or if Ramya completed all the work, right? They want to ensure that whatever was committed for the sprint is done. Okay, yeah. So what was the impact of these problem statement? Carryover tickets, one is waiting on other, they are not discussing. Okay, drag and overhead hours. Okay, if they are stuck in suppose they made certain changes and there was a Jenkins job which was running, it wasn't failing, right? So instead of coming onto the group and sharing with everyone, hey, looks like there is something wrong with the Jenkins job, they thought that the changes they did caused the failure in the Jenkins job. They were not able to think that it could be some platform related changes which has been done. Maybe some other team would have done those changes, which is causing the build failure. Okay, or there is the issue which they are facing, the team has already faced. Okay, and they could have always come onto the group. They would have stated their problem, or they would have shared that problem in the Scrum meetings, right? And they would have got a quick solution. But they were thinking all the time, they were thinking that if they raise any issue, they would be considered accountable for it. Okay, it's them who introduced that issue. Rework, again, because two new people, they are discussing solution, they are not sharing it with the experienced folks, or not, they are not bringing that discussion in Scrum meetings. Okay, so ultimately when it used to go for a review, they had to rework it, do the rework. Okay, the tickets are getting carry over. Obviously you won't be able to meet the quarterly commitment. In my organization, we plan for a quarter, right? So you plan for a quarter, we divide it into a week 2 week sprint. Okay, and they, all the time, their focus was to how they can prevent the change. Okay, for example, if the story which we took, it had two acceptance criteria. Okay, and while development they encounter, oh, even this should be considered. Instead of accommodating that change, they were trying to push the things to the next sprint. Why? Because if they'll take that change, they might have to do their other stories might get spilled, right? So they were always concerned that, okay, if they have been assigned 4 stories, they have to complete that, and whatever is the scope defined, they'll just focus on that scope. Yeah. Before I move to the next point, any problem statement you guys would like to share that in the chat that you have been facing with your team, or any of the problems which I faced, you see, oh, they are relatable, even I am facing similar thing in my team. Okay, no such problems. Okay, yeah. Then I would love to hear how you guys are able to manage those changes. Okay, frequently changing requirement. Yeah, busy, right? Because they're just focusing on the assigned task. Yeah. So when we talk about ideal Scrum team, what do we mean by ideal Scrum team, right? I read someone wrote an article. I don't remember the name of the person. So that person wrote in that article that Scrum was based on the fact that we have a motivated team, right? So if your team is not motivated, you cannot go for that inspect, adapt, transparency, openness, mindfulness, right? Yeah. So just continuing from that point, ideal Scrum team is the one who works towards the sprint goal. They are not focusing on individual work. They are focusing on what they have committed as a team for that sprint. Okay, they share experiences. Okay, now the experience could be good, it could be bad, it could be a successful experience, it could be a failure experience. So one is not shying away. Maybe for example, I picked some work, right, and I was following certain approach, yeah, and I failed, right? So that also one should go ahead and share with the team, right? That okay, I tried this, and because of this, I face these issues, right? But what we tend to do is we tend to share the good experiences, and we shy away from sharing the bad experiences, thinking that people would judge us, right? They enjoy working with each other. They don't feel burned out, right? So if I enjoy working with someone, why would I shy away from turning on my camera? Why would I shy away in picking a phone and calling that person, hey, I'm stuck, right? Can you help me out, right? They're creative, like how it was simple. We had to count 1 to 10. We came up with so many creative ideas. They spend time on innovation, right? They're not just focusing that, okay, I'll work on my assigned task and I'll get done away with it. Retrospectives are fun because you're not focusing on the people, right? You're not focusing on the individual. We are focusing as a group. What as a group we did well, what as a group we have to improve. It's not okay what Simon did right and what Jyoti did wrong. Okay. They're open for feedback and always willing to ask for help. Yeah, they're not keeping their problems to themselves, slogging day, night, okay, to get things. So I used to see, so when I took up this role of a Scrum Master, I observed a lot. So I used to be like, I refrained myself from speaking and I used to observe, okay, what's happening. So I used to see some of my folks being up late night, right? As I told you, there were a time zone difference, right? So they used to be online coordinating with folks, right? The senior members of the team were not aware. But since I was watching what's going on, so I used to come next day and I used to share, oh, I saw so and so person was coordinating, collaborating. Good job done, guys. Okay. But the problem to those solutions were with the team also. If they would have raised that problem in these stand-ups, in the daily stand-ups, they don't have to wait like 12 hours, 13 hours for the other member to come online and help them out. Okay. Yeah. So let me just see how much time has passed. Do I have enough time? Yeah, I have enough time. Okay. Yeah. So psychological safety, what do we mean by? I'm sure you all are aware. So I'm just reiterating. Yeah. So you communicate with honesty, right? So when I say communicate with honesty, both your scenarios where you were not successful, scenarios where you were successful, scenarios where you need help, right? You're open to raise your hand and say, oh, I need help. I'm stuck. Please, somebody come and help me out. Okay, and not shying away that if I'll raise my hand, what people would think of me. Okay, environment in which people are more accessible, right? I'm not saying okay, you just put your work aside and you come online and you help, right? You're able to say, okay, hey, Sami, I see that you have a question. I acknowledge that whatever you are facing, I know the solution, but right now I'm stuck somewhere. I'll once I'm done, I'll come and help you out. Okay, so even you are being accessible, ensuring even your work is not hampered, right? Okay. Challenge. and make suggestion. Don't just accept what is being said. Okay, somebody for example, I'll keep going to that game only. If I would have come and I would have thought that to solve this problem, the game which I've said is only one way, which is okay, you have to turn on the camera and you have to show your fingers, right? But there were people, they started writing on the chat. So that is something you innovated, right? I didn't have that in my mind. You guys innovated it, right? So yes, you are challenging and then you're making suggestion. It's not just one way that, okay, there are people in the team, you will see, they're just complaining, and they're not suggesting. Yeah. So if you have maybe why they are not suggesting, it's not that they don't have a solution. Maybe they are not suggesting because they feel that their suggestion might not be heard by anyone. It is not that impactful suggestion, right? Then critically take actions on those suggestions. Yeah. So maybe if Corin suggested something, now we'll take action on it, because as a team we feel, yeah, whatever Corin is suggesting makes sense. Okay. I see something on the chat. I'll just see if there is. Okay. Say nothing by favor then. Okay, I see. Okay, some conversation going on. Okay. Yep. So the game side, right? Coming to the part, the fun part. Okay. Yeah. See, as I told you, if I have brought the first game I started, and I'm sharing some of those questions for you all. See, if I would have said, okay, let's all come on a Zoom and have this session. Since my team was very quiet, and if I would have played this game, like the first game which I started with them on Zoom, I won't have seen participation, because I have been observing them. I've seen them that, okay, they come, they talk only things related to work, right? And why they're not able to bond with each other, because I don't know personally about Sami. I don't know personally about Simon, Ramya. Okay. So for me, the only point of discussion is the work which is assigned to me, right? But you guys know, right? If we know something, if we personally, if we bond, a lot of things become easier, right? So this is what I did. So I took permission from the engineering manager that every alternate Friday, I want to have a session, a fun Friday session is what I used to call them. And I'll just take 1 hour of the team to have these sessions. Okay. So first thing I started is with icebreaker question on the Slack itself. Okay. So the kind of questions I used to ask them, right? If you could see, okay, if you had to teach a class on one thing, what would you teach? Right. So here people came up with things which we were not aware about them. Like there were people who were very creative. So they had their Instagram account, and they used to travel, and they used to share some interesting pictures. Okay. So from this question we got to know, oh, so team is just not about talking about the development work, right? We tend to think, okay, they are engineers and they'll be just talking about architecture and coding. No, they have a personal aspect, a human aspect to themselves. There are people who like to paint. There were a few people in my team, they used to write poems, right? There were few who used to collect songs, right? So through these questions we got to know about their personal things, right, which they were comfortable to share. If you could be on reality TV show, which one would you choose and why, right? If you could have the power to teleportation right now, where would you go and why? So my questions which I used to pick, like I don't say that go ahead and randomly pick some questions, right? Pick a questions which would help in creating that bond, right? For example, I had another session where I took questions with respect to failures, right? Because the new folks, what they do, right? If I'm here, I started my journey as a Scrum Master, I would assume, okay, William, Martin, when they started journey, they were always successful, right? And I would always think, oh, I'm not doing right. Yeah, these people are so successful. If there are certain discussion going on, how ideas come in their mind, how they are able to think, okay, this piece of a code would impact that piece of a code. Okay. But we forget that everybody starts their journey from that step one itself, right? And in that journey, even your engineering manager would have made mistakes, right? So I used to ask question like this. First feature where you broke the application, right? So engineering manager also shared experience of hers that, okay, there was a piece of code for testing, she had commented it, okay, but when the code went to the production, she forgot to uncomment that code, and it caused the application to fail, right? So when you see your leaders are sharing a situation where they had made such mistakes, people feel really confident that, okay, they feel confident, and that's why they are able to innovate and be creative. See, if you'll innovate, you'll be creative, you'll try stuff, you'll fail, right? But you have to understand, from that failure you'll learn. And I used to tell them, see, the engineering manager is sharing her experience now, and you all are finding it so funny. Imagine the situation when this would have happened to her, and people would be sitting on her head and would be asking, okay, when the change would go, right? So yes, go make mistakes. These mistakes would become a stories for you in the future, where you can share these with your junior folks. Yeah. A situation where you strongly felt you were right until someone proved you wrong. Same thing as I was telling you, challenge, right? You have to challenge, and you have to suggest. Okay, maybe we at times we feel so strong about our ideas that we don't take those suggestions, right? So this question was to get those answers, right? You thought, okay, this is the right way to do it, and people were telling you, no, 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 this is not the right way, but you still went ahead and you did it. So tell us, what was that experience like? Okay. Again, a question. See, you tend to see that, okay, as a developer or as an engineer, we get so engrossed in certain thing that, okay, we picked a piece of a code to work on, oh, we end up refactoring it. We end up doing the gold plating or adding certain scopes which were not part of the requirement, right? So that question was for this, that, okay, you developed a feature, you put your heart and soul to it, and you later realize that we were not supposed to do that. That is not something which was asked for. And hence it is required that you are just not focusing on your silo. Go ahead and coordinate with your support people who are directly working with the client. Talk to your product owner, talk to your sales guy, right? When you talk to those people, you will understand the logic behind the things which you're building. Okay, because Scrum is all about customer centricity. Like, you have to understand your customer. Yeah. And there were more questions, like if anybody is interested to know all the questions, I'm just showing some snippet. If you want to know what all questions you can ask in the icebreaker, I'll share with you. And then the what all questions I asked for celebrating failures. But be mindful to pick questions which is able to reveal something about your team, and which would be beneficial, which would help in creating those bonds. Okay, if I just ask, okay, what is your favorite chocolate? Yeah, that's a good question to ask. What is your favorite chocolate? But how would that help in giving you that psychological safe environment? Okay. Another thing I did is I started doing so after icebreaker questions, celebrating failures. Then there were fun games as well, like Scribble, code names. These are like group games where you coordinate, and there were prizes also associated with it, like giving somebody an Amazon coupon, etc. Because when you talk about game, there has to be a reward, right? We played dumb charades, reverse charades. So we played all those games too, right? I took them step by step. From Slack, I made them comfortable in Slack. Okay. Since I made them comfortable in Slack, now the one-to-one conversation they used to do for their project related things, they felt comfortable sharing in the group. Because personally, you've shared so much about yourself. Now, with respect to project, now why I have to feel shy, right? So people started posting on the group, started raising their hands. Okay. Then another thing which I did and people really liked it was AMA, ask me anything session with the leaders. Okay, from the product manager to the engineering manager to the team lead. So I did these AMA, right? So you see some of the questions people asked, right? how do you deal with self-doubt? Okay. What are some things that you suggest for new developers and budding mentors? Right. So that was 1 hour session. You can ask anything. I didn't put any restriction. You had questions related to finance, go ahead and ask. Okay. You wanted to know what is the next technology one should invest on, go ahead and ask. There was no restriction. Okay. There was some, and that these sessions were so successful that one of the person from my team, they went ahead and shared that thing on the LinkedIn. Okay, so this I'm not sharing to boast about me. This I'm sharing to tell you that as an engineer also, they also feel burnout, right? All the time you're just talking about the development, you're just talking about serious stuff, right? You see the what person wrote here, should we just talk about work and work with the team? Probably not. How do we make sure that team is getting an environment of openness and trust? How do you make sure team is transparent in sharing feedback and asking queries without having fear of being judged? Okay, so in this AMA, people were asking so many questions. They were asking about their ex-girlfriend, how many. Okay, they were asking about where you are investing, which fund you are borrowing, where situations like, okay, uh, tell a situation where when you were not promoted, how you were prepared that you'll get promoted but you were not promoted, how you tackle that situation, right? So here I would like to thank those people, those leaders also, who were so open in these AMA, right? I didn't see any reluctance from them in sharing answer to any of the questions that was asked to them, right? So even they helped us. So through this exercise, I got to know that everybody wants to help, right? People want to help. It's just that you have to speak up, right? Or you have to find innovative ways, right? To let people know that we are here to help. And we have all gone through the same journey. Yeah? Now, the impact part. What impact it had on my project, okay? See, the retrospectives. Yeah, people are openly writing things, right? So there, it was a whiteboard session which I did with my team, and they are not shying away and speaking their mind, right? This was same team who used to keep quiet in the retros. Now here they are writing. This orange part is the action item which I was writing for myself. But do you see this portion, the relationship portion? What do you see here? Team bonding, awesome collaboration. So it's like, okay, we have 5 people in the team. I know something 20%. There are other folks who know 20%. So as a team, we know things 100%. So now come what feature, what technology you are asking me to work on. As a team, we'll work, we'll innovate because we have a great team bonding. We collaborate. We are thinking as a group, not as an individual. Okay. See this part, the product part. Okay. People were very open in saying, okay, the tickets, which the Jira tickets which get created, we need more description. Earlier, same team, they were okay to work with tickets with just 1 line of description because they were very shy to tell, and they used to struggle to find the answers, right? But now they are so open. They are saying, okay, we won't take the task if we don't have enough description. And we are not saying that only product owner is responsible. Okay, as a team we'll work to ensure that the Jira tickets, the requirement which we have, it has enough detail. Okay, we were asking team to experiment on TDD, right? So initially they were trying, they failed, etc., but they were not speaking up. But do you see here, and I have specifically marked it in red. So they are saying TDD is complex, right? So the leader in the team, they were thinking, why team is not following TDD? It's helpful. It would help us to achieve so many things, right? Then they accepted because they had that fear. They were not asking things, but now they are coming and they are saying in retrospective that it's complex. We need help. If you think it's beneficial, please help us out, giving these steps, right? Next, this is the velocity graph for 12 months. Okay, the moment I joined the team until now. Okay, so this graph depicts what we used to commit and what we used to fleet. Okay, so if you, this is like that time, November, December time, 2021, where you have Thanksgiving and Christmas holidays. So we tend to pick less stuff. Forget about this part. See this, when we started Q1 of 2022. Do you see this gray bars? As a team, we used to commit more but deliver less. Why? Because we were not speaking up that, okay, the descriptions are not enough, scopes are not defined, we are not comfortable with this technology, we need help, right? And we were not doing better estimations, right? The simple, okay, I used to do plan poker, and people used to give their estimates, and we used to pick the what do you say, the average. Or at times the team lead used to say, oh no, this should be done in 2, not in 5 days, right? And people were little shy. I would say they were fearing that, okay, if team leader is saying it should be done in 2 days, we'll do it in 2 days. But through these AMAs, icebreaker sessions, celebrating failures, now team is speaking up. If you see this area, do you see that the difference has dropped? Okay, we are able to complete most of the things which we are planning or committing to. Okay, here you'll see a little bit of dip. The reason is we picked something which required collaboration with a team, different team, and their way of working was very different than us. So whatever changes we used to raise for a review, it used to go into a lot of review cycles, right? But we were learning because they are the code owners, and if they don't go give us approval, we cannot go ahead and merge our changes. So team is learning, we are collaborating with them, we are understanding. Now the number of back and forth with the PR reviews has reduced, right? Yeah. Next impact. Do you see this cycle time? Okay, you see there is some peaks here. Okay, again, I won't say that this is best. I have to make it, what do you say, a linear. But why these peaks were coming? So in my team, we don't have a concept of developer or a tester. It's like you have developers. If I'm developing something, Simon would be testing it, or Corin would be testing it. So since I was so concerned on just my work, that I used to just focus on my development, and I used to forget that, oh, I have to test the work which Simon has done. Okay, so this used to cause delay, right? I did my development, Simon didn't test it. Or Simon was like, I was done with my development, Jyoti was too focused on her work that she didn't take out time to test my things, right? We were not collaborating, coordinating, and we were not focusing on the sprint goal. Okay, maybe the items on which I was working, that was not must have for the sprint, but what Simon was working. Sorry Simon, I'm taking your name again and again because I can see only you on the camera. Yeah, so if we would have collaborated, and we would have understood as a team that as a team we have to support the change, we don't have to prevent the change. Sprint goal is what we have to target, not you commit 10 and you have to complete 10. It's like you committed 10, but out of that 10, what is the part of my sprint goal? So maybe what Simon is working on is a priority that a must have to meet my sprint goal. Okay, so I should collaborate with him, and I should in fact help him out. Okay, Simon, okay, let's do this way. Okay, okay, you start your development work, meanwhile I'll write my test cases so that they are approved before you give me the task for testing.
It appears that Jyoti is frozen.
What is frozen?
You were frozen for a minute.
Okay. Okay. I'm sorry. Is it fine now?
It is fine now, but be aware, you only have a couple of minutes left.
Okay. Yeah. I'll. This is the end. I think I'm just ending on. Yeah. So this is the team. About whom I was talking. This another team. So I've got 2 teams with whom I was working. But we met in the office after like 2 years. And do you see the smile on their faces? Right? And that's me at the back, because I prefer my team to be at the front. Okay. And they in fact, they were not letting me work that day. They were constantly chit-chatting and discussing stuff. It was so much fun. And you can see they're enjoying. So I feel, yes, I have done 70% of the work. And they don't need, now I tell them openly, oh, you don't need me now. I should just go ahead and take another team, because, okay, maybe technical skill you have to work on, but as a team, you are there. You are bonding well, you are collaborating well. Now, whatever challenges come, you'll be able to take care of it. Okay. So this was the last slide, and seeing them happy, it makes me happy. I know the journey it took us to come to this, right? So yeah, thank you.